Van Buren v. United States, 2021, Supreme Court ruling summary case. Citation, Van Buren v. United States, 593 U.S., 2021, argued November 30th, 2020. Decided June 3rd, 2021. Background: the case involved Nathan Van Buren, a former police officer in Georgia who was convicted under the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, CFAA, for misusing his authorized access to a law enforcement database. Van Buren had accepted money from an undercover FBI informant to run a license plate search. This action violated department policy but was within his technical access as an officer. The CFAA, enacted in 1986, criminalizes unauthorized access to computer systems. However, the statute's language was ambiguous regarding whether it also criminalized misusing otherwise legitimate access. Van Buren appealed, arguing that his conduct did not violate the CFAA because he was authorized to access the database, even if he used it improperly. Legal question: does a person violate the CFAA if they misuse computer access they are otherwise authorized to have? Supreme Court's ruling. The Supreme Court, in a 6-3 decision, ruled in favor of Van Buren, narrowing the scope of the CFAA. The majority opinion, written by Justice Amy Coney Barrett, held that a person does not violate the CFAA simply by misusing authorized access. Rather, the law only applies to those who access information they were never entitled to in the first place. Key points from the majority opinion. 6-3 decision. 1. Textual interpretation of the CFAA. The CFAA makes it illegal to access a computer without authorization, or to exceed authorized access. The court ruled that exceeding authorized access means accessing areas of a system that one is not permitted to enter, not merely using permitted access for improper purposes. Since Van Buren had legitimate access to the license plate database, his misuse did not constitute a CFAA violation. 2. Avoiding overcriminalization. The government's broad interpretation would have made everyday activities potentially criminal. For example, a worker violating an employer's computer policy, such as using work email for personal messages, could be charged under the CFAA. The ruling prevents such overreach by limiting CFAA violations to unauthorized access rather than unauthorized use. 3. Congressional intent. The CFAA was designed to combat hacking, not to police workplace violations or ethical misconduct regarding data use. Dissenting opinion by Justice Thomas, joined by Chief Justice Roberts and Justice Alito. The dissent argued that Van Buren's database use was explicitly against policy and should be considered unauthorized, violating the CFAA. Justice Thomas compared the situation to a valet who can access a car but is not authorized to drive it for personal use. The dissenting justices feared that the ruling weakened protections against the misuse of sensitive government or corporate data. Implications of the ruling. 1. Narrower interpretation of the CFAA. The decision limits CFAA's liability to hackers and individuals who access data they were never supposed to see rather than employees who misuse authorized access. It protects individuals from criminal charges based on minor policy violations. 2. Impact on law enforcement and data security. Law enforcement officers and government employees who improperly use authorized systems for personal gain, e.g., looking up information for bribes or personal curiosity, will not automatically be charged under the CFAA. Still, they may face other criminal or administrative penalties. The ruling creates challenges for prosecuting insider threats, since prosecutors must now show unauthorized access, not just misuse. 3. Corporate and cybersecurity policies. Employers may need stricter internal security measures, e.g., compartmentalized databases, logging software, to prevent employees from misusing access in ways that are now outside the CFAA's scope. Conclusion: the Van Buren v. United States ruling significantly narrowed the application of the CFAA, limiting it to cases where a person gains access to restricted computer systems rather than simply misusing access they already have. While this prevents overcriminalization, it raises concerns about accountability for government officials, law enforcement officers, and corporate insiders who improperly access sensitive data for personal reasons.